It's time to be woke. Take off your shades. It helps see through the smoke. Cause the wicked hide behind the cloak. And if you stay in the mist, you gon' be soaked. So listen up, cause this hair of the dog. What's real, what ain't? Is this the fog or smog? Cause there's a difference when you breathe it in. So don't let the corporate media take you for a spin. This that morning show, they put you in the know. So I hope that you ready, cause all we do is go, go, go. Yeah, come get your info, you gon' be like, whoa. Hair of the dog, we bout that, ayy. We in the zone, we out here, yeah. Speeding the fact.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Hair of the Dog. I'm Andy Kennedy. It is Monday morning. Welcome. Glad you could join us. We have a really good show today for you. Going to get underway with our guest in a few minutes, but there's something that I wanted to touch on before we get into that. And as maybe some of you know or aren't aware of, I'm Canadian, and today is our federal election. And in Canada, we have three main parties, the Conservatives, the Liberals, and the New Democratic Party. The Liberals are currently in power with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The Conservatives are basically the Canadian version of the Republicans, and the NDP is a more socialist-leaning party. And the NDP, of course, like if you use the American elections as a template, of course, doesn't get any mainstream media attention because they are more socialist, more worker-oriented party. And the leader of the NDP is a gentleman by the name of Jagmeet Singh. And he is a absolutely amazing person and has the trust of the majority of the country as a leader, but most people see him as being in the wrong party because a lot of Canadians look at the NDP or the New Democratic Party as the Green Party in the United States. As well, you should never vote for the Green Party because they have no chance, right? And so, we look back at 2020 and the Democrats and the elitists of those were telling the people in the progressive side and on the left that they shouldn't vote for the Greens because we have to defeat the monster, right, in office right now, right? And it's the lesser of two evils, right? So the Canadian system is very much similar to the American system. And we have, so it's an extremely interesting race, but the difference this time, and this is very interesting. And if we look at what type of reaction that younger people and people on the left were giving to the Bernie Sanders campaign when he was running, despite the fact that mainstream media didn't want to acknowledge his existence, that there was a groundswell of support, right? If we use that as a template in Canada, we start to, and I got to give props to my daughter. Heather is 22. And her and I, earlier this morning, we're having this discussion because I'm so plugged into the American system. There's a lot of nuanced stuff that I'm missing in my own country. But she's quite affluent in social media platforms as well. And when Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the New Democratic Party, was putting videos out there, either on Instagram or TikTok, she found it very encouraging that these different videos were getting, on Instagram, like 200,000-300,000 views, and the same thing on TikTok. So there's a very defined line right now in this election between which is very generational, right? The millennials and younger are living in an economy where for the most part, their dreams of owning a home are not possible, right? Are really not. There's no way to, for most people, to be able to afford it. And in the generation above, which does the majority of voting, my age and older, are still steadfast in their desire to vote for one of the two top parties, right? They're going back and forth with the dogmatic propaganda that they consistently hear. The conservatives are talking again about balancing the budget, which we know is abhorrent, especially at a time right after COVID, when you should be investing economically in society to try to allow small businesses and people to recover from that. And there, of course, the old neoliberal and neoclassical economic talking points of, well, we're country's broke and we have to do this and we have to do that, right? And of course, the 50 plus crowd is eating it all up because that's all they know. So it should be a very interesting election here in Canada. I'm really hoping we don't get a conservative government again. It would be very detrimental to our country in terms of our recovery. And so that's something to keep an eye on, certainly for us Canadians. And as people wake up to the realities of their situations and how we're, destroying our ability to live on this planet with climate change, this is a big deal, right? And hopefully people watch the Canadian election. If things turn out well, then maybe that could be used as a template for the United States. Right? Anyways, I've talked for long enough at the beginning of this show, so I think it's time for me to introduce my lovely and talented co-host, as always, the queen of low bandwidth, Miss Carrie Barber. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning. Happy Monday to everyone. Hey, real quick. Okay, so we have early snark going already this morning, which it does my heart good. So good morning to Mike, to Justine Trowbridge, Optimism, Eric, where we have a number of Canadians who are logging in this morning. And of course, first off the bat with the snark is Mike Toller. And he says, the Canadian version of the Republican Party still hates everyone, but at least says sorry. So yeah, it is an important election. So thank you, Andy, for bringing us all up to speed. And while you were talking, I was nodding my head emphatically when we were talking about the Green Party. I just had an argument with a neoliberal on Twitter who refused to believe that there are 1,400 elected Greens serving across the country. So he's right on board with that. You can't win, you can't get elected, you can't do all of this. Well, okay, if to you Greens aren't viable, then move on. Why are you arguing so vehemently? Let people have things. Let people have their vote. That's their vote, right? So same thing with the Canadian Party. So, oh, hey, Narissa and Anthony Ryder, Cindy, boy, we got a full house. It must be, what is different about today's Monday show? Wait, we have a really special guest this morning joining us, welcoming back the CEO of Redhampton Leftist, all around legendary activist, somebody who is walking the talk daily, phenomenal individual, and just a very good friend to both Andy and I, Rome Bethea. Good morning, Rome. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I'm just a little, just trying to get the day started. Man, I don't even know where to start, but I'm feeling good, feeling better than I was a couple of days ago. So that's all that matters.
Very good.
That's a really important. Sorry, Carrie, for interrupting, but I think that's just that one statement is really telling, because when you're in this space, especially when you're streaming live, every other day or however often you do, it can be really demoralizing and frustrating to deal with the problems that we see in society, right? That you actually need a couple of days downtime just to get you feeling better, because when we are plugged in and we're constantly looking at what's happening with economically and with large corporations and rich people, it's really frustrating. And you've got to almost get a perspective. You've got to recharge and step back and take a perspective of that. And that's really important. A lot of people don't do that. And they're the ones that burn out or get into trouble, stressed out and get sick. And we see a lot of that right now.
People trying to be Bernie Sanders and whatnot, but they forget this nigga had a private jet. You know what I'm saying? So, sometimes he get on a coach or whatever, but yeah, when he had to move around, he moved around with money. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have that. We don't have that time to even move like that as activists or even as podcasters, whatever the hell you do. Like poor people can't move like that. So don't try to burn yourself out worrying about the whole world.
Yeah, we might have 10,000 subs on YouTube, but we haven't got the jet yet. I think that's next.
Yeah, hopefully. But I think the other key point that we're missing here is Bernie Sanders had a team that surrounded him that kind of filtered out a lot of that negativity. Rome, you're direct, right in the line of fire. Even when these arguments are just ridiculous on their face, you get this constant onslaught. So you seem to handle it really well. But of course, it does kind of get to you a little bit.
Oh yeah, of course, because in my mind frame, I want, I feel like everybody have a part in the revolution. It just breaks my heart that these people are gonna have to face the wall one day when I gain control. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. But in all reality, it just breaks my heart because I see, I'm fighting for these people too. The same people that talk shit about me and say I'm a right winger or a boogaloo or whatever it is. I done fed people in their neighborhoods. Same shit goes on, but and I know that the fight is bigger than me. It ain't just all about me, and I wouldn't be here without my supporters and people who say they follow me and whatnot. But it's just when you putting your face out there, you are basically the voice and the face of everything. So you're gonna take them blows. You're gonna have to take them blows as they come. And sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you're not gonna get everybody on your side. Sometimes some people just don't like goody two shoes. And history will tell you that, what I'm saying? History will tell you that good hearted people get killed, get wiped off and whatnot. This is why I always keep up a defense, like, okay, well, you can say this and that, blah, 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 but you ain't gonna do shit in person. So say what you want, but I'll beat your ass.
Well, and that's typical, right? In terms of propaganda and the messaging that we hear consistently for our entire lives, right? There's a reason why people have all heard the expression, nice guys finish last, right? They want you to think that if you're a nice guy, you're never going to accomplish anything. You're just going to be at the bottom of the totem pole your entire life. So you got to be greedy. You got to look out for yourself and your immediate family and the hell with everybody else, right? That's the whole capitalist mentality. That's, just do for yourself and,
and we know a lot of these liberals, they do not want Black people saving themselves. Like, that's the last thing they want. The last thing, and they don't want us talking to conservative whites. They want us in this bubble so they can control us and say this and that. So when we're actually going out, like this is where most of the smears even come from anyway. Just right. Democratic voters, people who are mad that I won't endorse their robberies. So they get mad at me because I'm gaining popularity, I'm gaining power, or whatever the fuck I'm gaining in their eyes. And they like, okay, well, you're not using it to good use. But how aren't I? I'm feeding people almost every damn day. I don't have a car, and I still get around my city to take care of the people who need it the most, who need it way more than me. So how is that not doing good with what I have gained, the fame or whatever the fuck I have gained with my time and what I have done with my activism? I'm clothing people. Ain't this what it's all about? Helping people pay the rent, cutting people grass who don't have a father. People don't have fathers, and or somebody who's gonna be there to fix things in their house. Like, I do that in my neighborhood. How am I not helping people overall? See, the problem is
I want to
you
get
just want
you.
me- you just want me
Well,
to
I want to quit. I want to stop you with this question. This is an incendiary question, but I know you'll rise to the challenge because you made two important points, and I want to get to the mutual aid because I think that's huge. But the first question, and you and I have talked about this before, the manipulation of the black vote as a voter block, right? We saw it in the Alabama election where it was in particular black women saved the Democratic candidate who has now turned out to be a little more Republican than anticipated. We saw it again in South Carolina, North Carolina, all of this sort of thing. So even from a white perspective, it's pretty obvious that the Democratic Party trots out and caters to this black bloc vote when it matters. But then when we see the policies, right, like qualified immunity and just basic things, they can't deliver. So is this now the continuation of it that you pose a threat to that kind of manipulation so that that is a tool?
If you was to think about it, I am in a democratic city, you know, and I go around and I tell people, look, I'm broke. I don't have anything. You probably have more money than me, and I still have to help you. You know, like what happened to all this voting? What happened to all this putting these people in power that look like us? Because there's a lot of people in power that look like us in the Democratic Party out here in Michigan. Where did all that power trickle down from? Where's our help? No. So we're gonna have to go and do this ourselves. Overall, we're gonna have to just go out here and wing it. I did this with a couple of $1,000s. All I did was save up a couple of days. I asked some people here to there, and I put it together for y'all. And we can do this every day for everybody. And then we can move on to joining together, joining organizations, neighborhood watches and stuff like that. That goes to, okay, homeowners are pissed off now because they are talking to the other poor people. And now, you know, the communists are talking about, you know, getting property taxes from funding schools in Detroit. You know, now the communists are talking about this and all this stuff that makes sense. That's pissing off all these people who has not been informed because they wanted us in this little block. But yeah, that's all it is. They trying to shut me down. Like you can see that they shut me off of Facebook. They shut me off almost damn near every platform. So, you know, and this is how it goes. They erase my image, they erase my voice, everything I've done. You know what I'm saying? Then it's easier to smear me when I don't have a platform to back myself up on, you know. And yeah, but that's just how it goes, man. That's how it goes. I ain't even gonna trip on it because even if they can have this internet shit, because I'm still gonna be good in the hood. So
well, that's very typical of the pushback that we get on the left from the faux aggressives that, for lack of a better term, that we see that are ingrained in the Democratic Party, that, you know, attacked March for Medicare for All, that attacked Force the Vote.
Yeah.
And these guys, what they do, you know, typically these battles will happen on a larger platform like Twitter. Mm-hmm. They'll block your ass.
Yeah.
And then they'll say shit about you.
Yep.
Right. And then you can't even respond because you can't see it until somebody sends you a screenshot. Yeah. Right. So that we see all of this stuff. It's infuriating that our main thrust in this space is to help people. We see the inequities. We see the inequality of economically, racially in our society, and we want to do better as a community or a species, right? We want to help people, not just in the United States or Canada, but across the world. We want a better place for everybody. And then you get in these discussions with people that are, you know, that are of better means, right? And you get called a Trump supporter. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm trying to help you, and that includes you. And it's like, oh, you're just trying. It's so frustrating.
Like, they need to be upfront with Black and brown people and tell the truth of how anti-Black they really are, how anti-gay they really are, how they just planned it, like how culture is just a plaything to them. Because if they really cared about Black lives, they would have said, hey, well, we are forcing the vote. We are going to fight tooth and nail for Medicare for all. We are going to march and speak at these marches. We are going to do whatever it takes. We're going to hold every politician accountable, no matter if they look or sound or on our side. You know, if they really cared about people of color, Black people, indigenous people, like, have they even said anything about indigenous rights being taken away in abortion laws? Nothing.
No.
They don't care. This is all a plaything. This is all a hashtag. Free Palestine. This is all a plaything to them, you know. And once we really get to doing these things, once we really get to saying and putting these things into play, they're like, oh, whoa. But who are you going to call if a crackhead breaking your house? Another crackhead? Because, you know, okay, I'm going to call the police, and then what? They're going to take down the namesake. We're going to investigate. And then what? I got to go look around the hood for my own stuff and then report back to them. I got to do the police job. So who are you going to call if I break in your house? Because I'm poor and I'm determined. Because you held so many things back. You've been rotting this fence so long now. Now things are starting to actually hurt me in my community. So now, since you didn't want Black lives to get better, I'm going to make your life worse. I'm going to make your life worse. I'm going to take from you. I don't care if you're rich, poor, whatever. I'm taking whatever I can get my hands on because y'all held back so much. And this is only going to hurt white communities. I'm telling you, this is only going to hurt white communities, middle class, so and so. All them white people that have been riding this fence for so long, you are the ones that's going to get robbed. The real rich people don't live out here. The real rich people are going on islands. So yeah, you are hurting yourselves in the long run. And if you don't want to give reparations to Black people and shit like that, you don't think we're going to get pissed off and just end up taking this stuff? You don't hear, are y'all that out of touch that y'all don't hear what's really going on? And yes, y'all are, because y'all don't really know what goes on in Black communities. Y'all just try to tell us what to say. But motherfuckers ain't having that shit. And I don't know if you feel it or not, but or know it or not, but empires don't even last this long. So it's about time for a fall or a revolution or so.
Well, and you can look back at the examples, the few examples that we have in history where things get so bad for the people that they have nothing left to lose, right? That if I get shot by the military or by the police, it doesn't matter because my life isn't worth living anymore, right? We look back in the history of human beings on this planet, and there's some very relevant, historical times that we can point back to, like the Russian Revolution and the French Revolution and the Haitian Revolution. Those were all examples of people that had nothing left to lose, fighting back. And what happens is we see it doesn't matter what the elitists have. When people get desperate enough, things will change, yeah. Right? And I think that the United States is on a collision course with history, that as capitalism keeps exceeding these boundaries, yeah, of a handful of people having everything and the rest of these people dying in the streets, mm-hmm, that eventually you're going to hit the critical mass and people are going to say, we got nothing left to lose. And then things change. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully, there can be organized pushback like we've talked about here with the general strike, or targeted, purchasing of trying to put large corporations out of business, that kind of thing.
See, that's my whole point of getting out here and talking to these people, is to get their heads right, is to teach them their enemy. But if all these people are fence riding, all these people getting into their head, by the time shit actually bite them in the ass, they're not going to know where to attack, where to go, where to get help. It's going to be mayhem. It's going to be chaos all over. So they better leave me the hell alone and let me get these people right, and let me get them militant in the right places, and put them in the right spaces so they won't come out and attack. Because we can't get the Jeff Bezos, but we can get the Jeff Scott. We can get the, the Jeff Miller out on West Bloomfield. We can get you. But look, you better watch it, because I'm telling you, even a little bit of history will tell you this. The peasants not going to take it for too long. And with this country becoming a renter's nation at that, and all these corporations buying up it. Come on, man. Y'all better let the activists do the activist job. If you're going to vote, go out and vote, but don't come and tell me that I'm doing my job wrong because I'm not leading people to any types of party or whatnot. No, I'm leading people to liberation.
You're keeping them alive.
It makes no sense that we have voting rights and no liberation. Like, ain't that as
Rome, I want to get to some of the comments and bring in the conversation from some of our viewers. And you obviously have this huge wave of supporters because no matter where you go, people are going to follow you and want to hear your message and elevate it. So Eric Grace says the lack of understanding of our political spectrum in the U.S. is embarrassing. And one of the narratives I've been talking about is the 53% illiteracy rate in the United States that reflects people can't read on a college level, 53% of Americans. So Eric is speaking, I think, echoing what you're talking about on the political spectrum. And then Optimism says they care about making money and maintaining power and feeling superior. So I keep seeing that image of Occupy Wall Street with the bankers on the balcony with their champagne glasses laughing at the people so desperate to be marching, right? So Cindy, thank you. Oh, Cindy gave us $5 Canadian as a tip. Thank you so much, Cindy. She
Very
says,
nice. That's like 3 Timmy's coffees, by the way.
Right. Said this is the reason they want to monitor bank accounts under $600, and then they'll monitor those people for active dissent. Right. So Rome, I want to get to something that you had tweeted earlier on, and I don't know if you were just in a dark space or whatever, but I have actually seen this because I know I'm on the journalism watch list, and that started under Trump, but I'm not off that list. They're still watching. You mentioned that you are now considered a U.S. terrorist. What did you mean by that?
Well, and an extremist. I'm an extremist, so they basically don't. I don't supposed to have a platform. You know what I'm saying? I don't supposed to be on the internet and shit like that. Like, yeah, they took away everything. I even talked to some people who sent them my IDs. Like, look. So long story short, you know, I knew this shit was. I knew my graduation was going to come. It was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of time. So it is what it is. You know, this is what happens to freedom fighters. We seen what happened to Malcolm X. We seen how they did Fred Hampton. He was only 20, 21 years old. We know this fight don't last long. This is why we fight the hardest. This is why Black commies fight the hardest. We got to be the loudest because we don't last long. So that's just my whole look on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I had time to think on it and breathe and, you know, just accept my fate for what it is, you know, like what the fuck I thought of. What else you thought was gonna happen, nigga? So
yeah, and we see that in all kinds of all over the spectrum, right? Anybody that's a voice of reason in the society where people are dying, where political choice is responsible for homelessness and austerity, it's unbelievable. Like, I mean, you know, to go back to JFK, you know, what did he say in his speech? That he was going to rein in the banking elites in the country and the people that were trying to seize power, and ended up being shot by someone while he was in Dallas, Texas. Wonder who that was, right? It's any voice of dissent that goes out there, and they will use whatever means necessary to silence you. And that's why our little corner here of the galaxy is so important, that we try to get those voices to speak as one and try to change that narrative, because it's going to lead to our extinction. And on that happy note.
Absolutely great. Yeah, thanks, Andy. So that's actually a really good segue. I wanted to talk about mutual aid, because I know that's a big push and that's part of your tour for the poor. But why is this so important? And I want to put this in context of all of the unions that have been striking. Most people don't realize when you are part of that strike, you get no income. The unions themselves don't really have a mutual aid system. Yeah. So Why is this important, Rome? Can you talk about that a little bit?
I have, you know, I always tell y'all straight up, I'm pushing communist propaganda, and you can't make anybody militant on an empty stomach. Nobody's gonna listen to you on an empty stomach with empty hands. And you know, everybody got preachers already. Everybody got all these teachers and whatnot. What they need is somebody that's gonna actually come with the things they're gonna say that they come with. We have voted enough for these politicians that promise this and that. You know, and it's not like I'm gonna promise you any goddamn thing. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I just say I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna do what I can with the power that I have, and I do. And it's just to show the other poor people that live in my neighborhood that grew up with me, like, you can just do this, bro. You can just go up in the neighborhood and just give out some shit. It don't have to be clothes. It don't have to be food. Make it what you want. You know what I'm saying? It can be sandwiches, wherever, but you can do it, man. And just being outspoken, just grabbing the camera and just talking into the camera. You might be talking to yourself for the first couple of months. Keep talking, because somebody is going to hear you. You're going to spark the mind of a revolutionary somewhere. And don't be afraid. Don't be embarrassed to be out here giving to people. Don't be embarrassed to be out here waiting on people to take these things. Don't be embarrassed to take these things if you need them, because it's going to get way harder with these bills that's getting passed. Not only the crime bills is getting passed and being about to be pushed in Black neighborhoods, but they buying up all our land. They're kicking people out their homes. There's evictions and shit like that. So it's gonna get tougher. So look, this is what we have to do. We have to, if you're, if you're all about the working class, then you have to be there for the working class before the government gets there, before the government gives them another stimulus check, another this and that, and blah, blah, blah. So next time when they do drop another stimulus check on these people or unemployment benefits, I'm gonna be like, man, that ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't like, man, I've been here doing this and that. I just spent more money on y'all than they just did right there, even if it ain't true. You know what I'm saying? I was still around when it was the hardest. I was still around when it was tough times, and found them somewhere to go and something to eat and stuff like that. They're gonna listen to you. And that's why mutual aid is important right now. And I guess this starting part of the revolution, because you have to put something on their stomach in order for them to listen to you, because motherfuckers ain't hearing that shit. They homeless, they hungry, probably cold or hot, whatever it is. They ain't trying to hear your ass. You know, I'm pretty sure these people are smart enough. They already lost homes and stuff like that. A lot of these people are already radical. A lot of these people are already political. You know, they just need a leader or somebody that's gonna, be there for them and with them and actually have their back and buy them things like or help them get like guns or place to stay, new shelters, and IDs, stuff like that. That's real important, man. Like let people use your ID. Let people use your address for ID and stuff like that. It's just little simple shit, man. We can really create an army, so to say, But that's all I'm doing. Creating an army with the commie propaganda that I'm pushing, with the food that I'm giving and the clothes I'm giving.
Well, this was a disturbing story that came out of New Mexico in Albuquerque, when they're doing sweeps of the parks for these homeless people or unhoused. A lot of them are families, and part of the disturbing trend is police are actually taking their photo IDs, their state IDs. How do you get involved in any type of community program without an ID? These are things that were happening on the border with immigrants coming in. We were paying Mexico to take their IDs so they couldn't get their bank cards. We're now doing it to our own citizens here in this country. So when you're talking about mutual aid, I love the whole concept of just a kind word. Treat somebody like a human being,
Yeah.
And maybe pass on a sandwich. And it doesn't really take much, right? None of us have a lot, but $1 here, $5 there really can make a difference for somebody. And just, extra sandwich, extra lunch, whatever is needed. So
Shit, they might
what
hit
are
the
you
lottery with that
looking at
$5.
right now? That's exactly right. So what are you looking for right now in terms of helping you, or you helping others do the same thing? Where are you at right now?
Right now, I'm kind of gonna lay low. I'm still gonna go to Tennessee. But right now I'm just gonna continue to do what I originally planned on doing was uh, uh, building my army out of Detroit poor people, homeless people, and militant people. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people out there who don't have a lot and can gain a lot and don't have a lot to lose. So right now I need, like, if you want to, I don't know, because I move on my own because I don't think people is really got the balls to walk up to people and say, like, hey, you need a gun. You know what I'm saying? We need to strap up against the system. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to prepare mentally, physically. We need to train. I don't think people have the balls to actually do that. So right now, if motherfuckers want to join me, they can. I'm on the east side of Detroit, and I'm just walking around looking for people to join my army. So if you want to, you want to help me do that and put yourself at risk. See, and that's another thing with mutual aid. It's not all fine and dandy. Your ass gonna get robbed too. You're gonna get robbed sometimes. People gonna want to stick you up, look at you all. A lot of people don't care what you're doing. A lot of people don't give a fuck. They probably from the west side anyway. They don't give a fuck what you doing over here.
So, damn west side.
Fuck the west side. But yeah, a lot of people don't care what you do. You know what I'm saying? So this mutual aid can put your head on a plate. So you got to be careful, protect yourself. But if you want to come out here with me, you know what I'm saying, you want to talk to these people, because that's what I do overall. You know what I'm saying? When I don't have a volunteer, when I'm just doing it by myself, I'm just like, hey, look. And I put a snippet out on Twitter, like, we need to build our own army. These people, you know what I'm saying, reward their killers. We need to reward our killers. We need to keep our killers in our circles, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know it sounds kind of horrible or whatnot, but killing isn't all bad. It depends on what you're killing for, you know what I'm saying? Because if it came down to these politicians versus us, and we was in an all-out death match, then you pick your side. But I know 99 is bigger than 1%.
Well, as bad as that might sound, Rome, how for how many hundreds and hundreds of years has the American been sending young men, especially young men of color, off to other lands to kill Black and brown people and to get killed?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we ain't having no more of that. We're gonna build our own army in our own communities. We're gonna build our own police. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna start from there. We're gonna get it together, man. We're gonna get it back to where, you know what I'm saying, not basically how gangbanging was, because this basically just GD, you know what I'm saying? It's just some GD shit put into politics. Police your own neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? Make sure nobody burn down anything, shoot up any churches, this and that. Make sure we got redistribution of wealth in our neighborhoods. In our neighborhoods. Make sure everybody is taken care of before. Don't hurt each other. Don't hurt each other. Do that shit to the outsiders. But it's on a bigger scale now. Now that we're not looking at it as street to street, block to block, 6 mile, 7 mile, 8 mile. Now we're looking at it as top down, rich, poor. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get these people out of our way in order for everybody. That means Crips, Bloods, GDs, Vice Lords, all of y'all to even get right. Because we still gangbanging in neighborhoods we don't even own. So let's at least try to own these neighborhoods and get it from the white man, get it from the bankers before we even say that, oh, this is my block. So and that's, you know what I'm saying, like, that's one of my main points that I be pushing on a lot of my dudes that grew up gang banging and grew up in the hood. Like, yeah, it's your hood, but is it? Like,
yeah,
is it though?
Those properties are all owned by BlackRock now,
Yeah,
and they're bulldozing them down and putting up luxury condos.
For who though? For who? So, Rome, when you were talking about police in our own neighborhoods, I kept thinking back to the historical context. Is everybody familiar with the Pinkertons? Right? They still exist, and Pinkertons were used by corporations to shoot down people who were trying to form a union, striking union workers. They're still around. So when we're talking about private security forces, what's the difference? What's the difference between somebody who's policing a gated community for the elite as opposed to community members forming an armed neighborhood watch.
Difference
So
is the
is
state.
that's what's so incendiary?
It's the state. That's the difference. We're not protecting the state. We're not here to protect Targets and Walmarts and this and that. We're here to protect protesters. We're here to protect homeowners or people that's been evicted when they have people in the military come out and throw them out. You know, so the difference is we're here for the people. They're there for the state. We're really going to protect and serve. And see the difference between, like, okay, there is a prison for certain types of people. Yes, it is. But a lot of these people are just over police. A lot of these people shouldn't be in prison at all. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to us policing our own neighborhoods, this is what it comes down to in the first place, because police only solves 2% of crimes. So when we look at things, how do crimes get solved? Your aunties, your cousins, your neighborhood, everybody go on that, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's missing. They all go out as a community and they police themselves. But the difference is you didn't get paid for it. The fucking sheriff and all these dickhead deputies got paid for it. You know? But this is what we do. We can fund each other with just a little $5, $10 that we have put aside. You might not think it's a lot, but you put it to the side, you look back another month or two, you're like, dang, we got a couple of $1,000. That's enough to get supplies right here. We got enough to put armed guards on these blocks during these types of nights because so-and-so got kidnapped, or so-and-so daughter almost got sex trafficked out of her front yard. Like we have seen multiple times in these videos. And what do the police do? Like, what is their record with sex trafficking? What is their record with even catching?
Oh, I can tell you, they're getting arrested in Chicago for participating in that.
Yes.
So yeah, their record is awful. But so there was a story that I grew up with, a friend of mine who grew up in Chicago on the Southwest side. And this is old, back in the 1950s, when you had the traveling circuses come through, and there were 2 children who were abducted, were missing. So what happened? Did they go to the police? No, it's fucking Chicago. You don't go to the police in Chicago. What they did was a bunch of dads and uncles got their shotguns and everything else, followed where the circus was, and brought those kids home. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's the exact same thing. You're not saying anything new. You're just reminding us of where we used to be and that sense of community that we had that has now been watered down into a coffee clutch neighborhood watch.
They put in your heads that we need these people. We need somebody to protect us. We protect ourselves. What the fuck do we have guns for? What the fuck do you learn how to fight for? Why do you have kids? Why do you have a man, a woman, or a protector, or whatever the hell you have? We protect ourselves at the end of the day. You don't need nobody with a shiny badge to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as, and see, this is what people that ask these questions don't have class consciousness. Because if they did, they already know their neighbors got their backs. You know what I'm saying? They already know that their blocks are already in line with one. If anything happens to this child, everybody should have everybody's phone number. Everybody should be already in line with each other. See, when people ask these questions, I can already tell that they don't have class consciousness. They don't talk to their neighbor. Their neighbors don't even know that they're a socialist or a communist. This is all role play for some of these people because they don't really have to live it. They don't really have to really actually go out and be a socialist, be a communist, be a cab, or be against the system in any way because they benefit off of it. They just want a better life for some people, so to say. But they don't know why we're so mad. They don't understand why we're so mad. They just don't know because they don't live it and they never will. But I don't know why they always talk on it when, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be their job to do it any fucking way. Because I don't want people like them going out, even talking to them, putting doubts in people's minds. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a no-no. There's no doubt in a revolution whatsoever.
Right. And then we see messaging like defund the police, right? Because we know what the police are. Yeah. They protect the elitist white class, right? I mean, that's the function. That's always been the function of the police from the beginning of the police police forces.
Police keep cities like mine, keep states like mine segregated. So if we was to defund the police, man, it's gonna be like white people are not really comfortable with accepting the fact that they still look at us like objects. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna look at it overall like, well, no, it's not this, it's not that, blah, blah, blah. And then they're gonna throw up them racist statistics in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh well, violent crime and this and that. Like, I keep telling y'all, we are arrested for 50% of the violent crime. We're not convicted for 50% of the violent crime. We're only arrested for 50% of the violent crimes because we're over-policed. Over-policed.
Yeah.
So what happened? Like, over-policed, over-sentenced. And you can see this. Like, some of these people actually took the time out to go protest with BLM and still say defunding the police is a bad idea because in their eyes, we are, you know what I'm saying? We are animals. We don't know how to act. We don't know how to treat each other without the police being around. You know what I'm saying? Without the thought of authority over us as Black people. So they look at us like animals and they look at the fucking police like zookeepers. So once we're
that narrative is reinforced by people like Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and everybody on the right. They keep reinforcing it. So if those people are saying it, but Mom, I want to get to some of the comments because we always have really insightful, intelligent comments, and I appreciate everybody watching. Mike brought up a good point. He said the fact that felons are stripped of their firearm rights, even after they've served their time and paid their debt to society, shows that even they know that the system doesn't work. And how true is that? After you paid your debt, you're supposed to retain your voting rights and all of your rights as a citizen. So
why would they want a whole bunch of people that spent nothing but time reading how much this government sucked, how they have been played, how they should have been out of prison? Why would they want anybody like that to have guns, to have voting rights, to have any type of way to gain power, you know what I'm saying, or control in this government? Because if we was to look at how big the prison population is, let's say we pass voting rights for incarcerated people. That's your Green Party. That's straight Absolutely. Up your Green Party, your Libertarian Party. It's all types of motherfuckers in there that don't even want to do nothing with Democrats or Republicans. And it's got something to do, with Democrats and Republicans locking them the fuck up. So, so when they get out, they're going to be like, oh, listen, I see all the time my OGs get out of prison, they be teaching me all this and that, and you got to stay away from these people and those people and blah, blah, blah. The government don't like, they've been working with the Taliban and all kind of shit. They know just as well as we do. They know all this shit just as well as we do, and they do not want them people who already, like, some of these people are murderers. You know what I'm saying? Some of these people don't have that tick in their mind to where, okay, I killed somebody, I'm sad. You know what I'm saying? I hurt somebody, I'm sad. Some of them don't have that tick. You don't want them people out. You don't want them people radicalized.
But that's the vast minority of people in the prison system. People are getting thrown in jail for having a couple of joints in their pocket. Yeah. Right? Like for doing stupid shit, like getting too many parking tickets or speeding tickets. The America didn't get rid of slavery. They renamed it the prison industrial complex. Yep. Right? Like it's a ludicrous thing. You take these people, you throw them in jail for nothing. You've radicalized them. Right. But you take away all the rights.
Yep. Yep.
Well, not only that, but we did the show on hundreds of thousands of people who have never even been convicted, who are still waiting trial. Now, what happened to due process? And that, you've got people sitting in a Chicago jail for 6 months for parking tickets, people sitting in prison awaiting trial. So it's not just the petty crimes and the petty thefts, it's people who aren't even convicted yet. Sitting there, like, look at what's happening at Rikers Island right now. Mm-hmm. The conditions are so deplorable. It is a massive human rights violation, and it's happening right now. And when I talk to people, the AOC stands and all the right wingers, I'm like, this is on their watch. This is in their district.
She voted to get the police more money.
Free people.
She voted to get the police more money. And that's why I'm like, this is why I'm like, I cannot take these people serious. Either they think I'm dumb, or they don't take themselves serious. They're not actually paying attention. If they are paying attention, these motherfuckers is evil. Straight up, because you can see her laugh and all this and that. Like they get mad at me if I go out and not wear a mask and I was helping people. But they ain't say shit about her being around all these people, you know what I'm saying, without a mask on. You know what I'm saying? It's always different standards when it comes to real activists and somebody who tickle people assholes and make them feel better, say their special words. Because that's all she's doing. She's saying your special word. She make you feel better. Y'all think she pretty. So, you know, you melting, you know what I'm saying? She makes you melt or whatever the fuck, feel tingly in your pants, and you got to tell your mommy you don't want to stand up in front of class when you see LC. But none of that shit, all that shit is performative. All that shit is performative. What has she actually done? Like somebody asked in the space a couple of days ago, I think it was Kami's Corner or one of them spaces on Twitter. Like, what has she materially done for the humans? Not a damn thing. She just make y'all feel good. And we just gotta, if we get another progressive in, we're gonna be that much closer to the goal. Dog, it's over 400 people in the fucking House of Representatives. Yep. Y'all gonna be doing this 230.
Yeah, 230 members of the Progressive Caucus who have done jack and shit. But I want to give a shout out to Lulu Loveberry, $15, Rome. She's buying your lunch here. It looks like she says, "Let every Monday be a militant Monday with Rome." Great show, Rome. It's your platform. You want it? We'll have you back anytime.
Yeah. You gotta stay militant. Not only militant. And I can do this, I can do that. You don't have to grab no guns. You don't have to do none of that. You got to be militant, and you can be militant in many ways. Militant is just standing your ground, standing for what you believe in, and not letting anybody push you. You know, that's all it is. So if you're militant about Medicare for all, universal health care, this and that, whatever it is, stay militant, my friend. Stay militant. That's right. Don't let these people put that defeatism in your heart, because when you hear the words, but well, I don't know. No, that's not the energy that you need around you. You know what I'm saying? Those people, there's a place for those people in the revolution. It's probably the war, it's probably not, but we're gonna figure that out later. But for right now, you don't need that around you. You know what I'm saying? You don't need any doubt around you. We're gonna need, you know what I'm saying, people that can see gunshot wounds and take care of them. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna need people that can see people having strokes and taking care of them. You can be militant about helping people. You know what I'm saying? Just like I am when I get out here in the streets. You don't take militant as just getting out here, and I don't endorse anybody hurting anybody. That's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? Don't hurt anybody that's powerless, I should say. So don't, you know what I'm saying? But
absolutely. That's the whole idea of our movement, is that we come together as society, right? That we help one another and lift ourselves together so that we can speak truth to power. Yep. And we can kick them the hell out.
Yeah.
And take over. Like, I mean, that's the whole idea of revolution. Right? People are too comfortable in their lives, and they want to believe that the government has their back and that the police are there to protect them, right? But for the vast majority of people, that's not the truth, right?
It never will be the truth, you know what I'm saying? But
as long as things stay exactly that way, it won't be. You're 100% right, bro.
This small percentage of this country control this narrative. That's what it's going to be. That's how they're going to look at things. Is why they're always going to talk at things from a right wing point, because most of the world is right wing. Most of America is right wing, straight the fuck up. No matter how they try to code it and this and that, like democratic socialism. You're a right wing. Like I don't even know how. Like I'm so tired of fucking beating around the bush. How can you beat around the bush with socialism?
Yeah.
You know, like all of this we have lost. We have. Oh my God, we have fucking documents of these people trying to frame the Soviet Union, socialists all around the world, communists. Like, why are you being around the bush? Oh, so what you're telling me is you want to just reform some of these capitalist ideas because it got you or your family to where you are at today, and you're comfortable what you're doing. This is why when shit goes down, if it don't go down the right way, y'all people are going to be the ones get hurt. It's not going to be politicians. They're going to come back when the smoke is clear. This is why y'all going to be the ones to get hurt, because y'all are in the way to even teaching these people the right things. Shut the fuck up. Stop being a right winger. If you're going to be a right winger, just shut the fuck up and act like you a leftist. Because right wingers would never, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Communists would never, or socialists would never align themselves with a Democratic Party like with the likes of America. Like, holy fuck. To even want to play this inside game where money control your politics. We live in a fascist state, bro. Corporations write our bills. Lobbyists control our politicians. We live in fascism. And if a socialist want to run for office, want to do this and play this inside game, I'm telling y'all gonna fall for it anyway, so fuck it. I don't even care. I ain't saying this shit over, man. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead. Well, we go ahead again. And then when you come back, I'm like, oh, okay, you bumped your head again. Yeah. Oh yeah, Daddy Rome. Yeah, they said that they was gonna fight for me, but all they did was pass new fracking bills and pass new fucking criminal bills and all this bullshit that they didn't help my community. They said they was gonna help me. And I'm like, I told you to stop voting. I told you to stop voting. I told you you're gonna gain power on your own. I told you to stop giving these people power. I told you to stop letting these people lie to you, telling you that they can't do a goddamn thing to help you unless you reelect them or you get them in office. How? Why is it that these things can be done, but you are the only person that can do it? Anything can be done by anybody. I don't give a damn if it was Trump, if it was Hitler in that bitch. If we was loud enough and we was mad enough and we came to his doorstep, like, if you got the power to change, you got to change this motherfucking shit. And that's just be it. And that'll just be it. It doesn't matter who face it is, who's brown, who's black, who's white, who said they on your side. None of that shit matters. If the people want it, the people got it. But y'all are so fucking beat down. Y'all are so weird to me. I don't know. Y'all are kinky. Y'all are kinky. Because y'all, it's like y'all like getting beat up. Y'all like getting beat down, getting battered. It's like dominatrix. I don't know what's wrong with you Americans, but snap out of it, you kinky motherfuckers.
So it's just been so many years of indoctrination, like, you know, those memes going around. We were taught to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then when we want that actual thing that we were pledging to, we're told no. So it's a cognitive dissonance, which is what we fight against here, particularly in the morning. But Rome, thank you so much for joining us. We are at the top of the hour. We got to get out of here. And you literally have been fire this morning. I know I'm fired up. I see the chat. The chat is fired up. Everybody, I think, is ready to go. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Rome, it's not necessary that we get out in March. What you're asking us to do is go next door. Yeah. Talk to our neighbor. Go down the street. Talk to our neighbor. Not get in another march and put on a little hat.
We've been doing that. All that stuff is performative. What really counts is making sure your neighbor eats. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck being on TV for marching with the pussy hats and like, it was a gay march downtown. I could have just photo opt. You know, like, I could have just photo opt to say, hey, I'm with the gay people, but I wasn't. I had no idea that they was down there. But I'm going to talk to my gay neighbors, and I'm going to make sure that they get what they want and they get what they need. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a game. You know what I'm saying? Stop making our culture into some type of protest. Stop making our life into some type of fucking hashtag. This is real life. We got to talk to our neighbors. We got to really get on the same page. Not on the same page, in the same book. Y'all motherfuckers not even in the same library. Take off the 3D glasses and stop looking at things from blue and red, left to right. It's always top down. It's always been like that. It's always going to be like that until we say different, until we come out and stop being pussies to call ourselves communists and say that we are doing things for communist ideas. We are pushing communist and socialist ideas. Stop being so pussy and start pussyfooting around it and say, well, we want universal health care for Americans. We want this and that for blah, blah, blah. No, nigga, we communists, we want this. We taking over. It's a different era. It's a different time, and your time is up. You lucky we don't take your damn house. So look, we're trying to work with you, but I'm happy that y'all have me on this joint. You know how I am. I'm a little crazy, but I'm crazy for my people. I do whatever I could for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to let y'all know y'all have way more than enough power than y'all think y'all do. And if y'all don't, why would they ask y'all for power to put them in power? You understand me? So think about it, man. Think about the power you have. Think about your neighbors. Talk to your fucking neighbors. Radicalize them. And build your army. Build your militant army of smart people and people that's willing to do whatever it takes by any means necessary.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rome. Thank you. And we'll be following along on the Tour for the Poor and try to get you the help that you need, because for most people, okay, all of us are broke. We know it. But 50 cents, $1, $5, it really goes a long way. And it's part of you building this community, you meaning all of the audience out here. So please continue to support Rome, follow him, elevate his message, because we know social media is trying to make sure that he is not heard. So please do everything you can in small and big ways, whatever you can do, because we matter, our communities matter, our neighbors matter, and we're all we got. So thank you so much, Rome.
Thank you.
We gotta get Rome to Memphis, Tennessee before the government puts him on the no-fly list.
Oh fuck! I forgot about.
So his next thing coming up here is Nashville, Tennessee, and that's one I really want to go to. But so we'll have more information, and we'll make sure that Rome is getting everything that he needs to help people out in Nashville. And you could be part of it, even if you can't travel with him. Just like I said, 50 cents, $1, it all adds up, and it goes a long way. So we are all done for the top of the hour, and thank you so much, everybody who's been tuning in. Andy, take us out. Give us some good advice for the rest of the Monday that we can carry forward.
Well, first of all, I'd like to push back on the idea of getting the Fred Hampton leftists a jet. I think we actually, because Rome doesn't have a car, I think we need to work on trying to get a helicopter first. So we'll figure out our priorities at our next group meeting, probably on Thursday. I think it's coming up. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. And again, Rome, thank you for all you do. My brother from another mother from another country. I love you, brother. And thanks everybody for tuning in today. Great show. Had a really good time. Hope you enjoyed it as well. We're Fred Hampton leftists, and we're trying to make a difference in our society. And of course, we're self-funded. If you could drop a couple bucks, it would be appreciated. Please like and sub on YouTube and all our different platforms. Very much appreciated. And hopefully we will see you again soon. So enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody. And we'll see you here bright and early on Wednesday morning. Take care.
We about that, we in the zone. We out here, spitting the facts, how it's supposed to be. Hair of the dog, we keep it in G. Whoa.